look at the back of the car. It's absolutely drenched in oil. So we've landed at Boost Technic Performance. The F10 is here.
There was no telltale signs on the dashboard, no signs at all. Just went bang, massive bang. But the next thing he knows, all the oil is pouring out the car at the bottom.
Oh my God, the engine is out. So there is a big ass hole in the engine.
The engine is now in. We're now going to secure it to the engine mounts underneath. Okay, so the next step is basically getting the block on the engine stand.
Okay. Yo.
I can hear the excited in the back. What's going on, guys? It's Nams here. Welcome to part 2 of F-Speed's M5 engine rebuild. This is the interesting one. This is where we assemble all the bits and pieces that we have, the crank, pistons, the rods, oil pump, gaskets and everything, put it together and complete the full engine build. And lastly, of course, we'll be putting the engine back into the vehicle and giving it a start. The first step of this build is, of course, putting the crankshaft down into the block and securing the main caps. I'm not going to say too much, but some of you guys don't have a clue what I'm talking about. So let's get started.
Mr. Nams.
Nams here.
And he's going to very kindly show us through exactly what's going on. So, Nams, tell me, we spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shiny stuff on the table. Over to you. Tell me what's what.
Right, so F's decided to go for the forged package. So he's got the forged pistons and the forged rods. So with that, you can push for about over 1000 bhp easily. So this is old crankshaft. We had to buy a brand new one, as you can see it's here. The problem with this one was, we come down and check this journal out. You can see the bearing spun over here. The rest of them were okay, but the problem was we couldn't get oversized bearings to basically grind it down, and it's not really a good idea to do it on an M5 anyway, as it's a high performance vehicle. So we've gone for a brand new crankshaft from BMW, F90 pistons, and you got the forged rods. So the next part is basically assembling the engine together and build it back up, and then obviously run the engine in, and next thing would be to tune the car to take the power for these rods.
So what I heard from that was, that's hella expensive, that's hella expensive, and that's hella expensive.
Everything on this table is very expensive.
Can we, you know what? Let's tell them what this costs.
All right, so the forged rods with the bearings were, I think, 2.5. These were about 2 grand, and that's another 2 grand. So it's about 6 grand already.
Right, Nams, hit me with what is coming up. What happens next?
Okay, so the next step is basically getting the block on the engine stand.
Okay. Right, block on the engine stand.
Putting the crank down and the bearings, torquing it down to the correct specs, and then assembling all the rods, the pistons on, and then head gaskets, cylinder heads, timing chain, and some oil pump, and that's it.
It's like a flipping nutty professor the way you got that all in your mind.
Put it in the car.
I feel like you just built it in your mind, it's done now.
Yeah, that's like fast forwarded, isn't it? Fast forwarded a week. As you can see, we've got the brand new crankshaft into the block. We've got the main caps here. We have torqued them down to spec. Very, very important. Cannot get it wrong, which is why we use this snap-on tool. It is calibrated, and again, if you get that wrong, then you're basically doing everything else wrong. Both cylinder heads assembled onto the engine. Both timing chains have also now been put on alongside the camshafts, and they've been timed correctly. So that's it. That's the timing sorted. It's all in place. Now we're just going to start assembling the rocker covers, the bottom sump, and all the ancillaries on top. And then, of course, the last part is putting the engine back into the car and starting it.
Shout out to Loz for coming with me today. Loz, give me a peace sign. The engine is built, the block is built behind us. It literally just needs the injectors to go in now, and we are ready. We are so close to this finally being ready. There's been lots of delays due to parts availability, and I guess that's just something that you learn when you're building these cars. Like, parts dictate how fast it will be done. Let me give you a review of Nams and the garage at Boost Performance. 10, mashallah. Great guys, very informative, keep me in the loop. And I said this to Nams just yesterday actually. I said, You know that you're the only person in the world I trust with an open wallet. That's saying something when you trust your engine builder like that. So big shout out to Boost Performance. Thank you very, very, very much.
That is very expensive.
Don't
blow it up.
Yeah.
Here we have it. The mighty M5 engine rebuild is complete. The full forged engine. We got the forged rods and the forged pistons in there. Everything's put back together. All the ancillaries, coolers and turbos, the downpipes, and here we have F-Speed's M5 on the ramp, ready to take the engine right back in where it came from, and then make the gearbox up and connect all the wires, and we should be able to start the car up for the first time. Looking very forward to it, so stay tuned and let's see this car in action. Here you go. It's about to get dropped in. This is the scary part. I would say about 30% in. You just have to be very careful now and keep going, dropping it down further and further. As you can see, the engine is now in. We're now going to secure it to the engine mounts underneath, and next part will be the gearbox. There you have it. Okay. You can see the engine is in the car. Today is finally the day. We are going to start up this M5 for the first time. Just heading to the workshop now. It's going to be a mad one. You guys stay tuned, because I can't wait for this one.
Right, it's that moment. It's the moment everyone's been waiting for. Nams is gassed, I'm gassed.
So the engine's back in. We've got F-Speed here. He's excited. Let's do this. Ready, yeah?
Ready as I'll ever be.
I can hear the excited in the back. The cold start, you can see. There you have it. The first start is alive.
I am sure that the audio does not do justice to how loud this car actually is. Without further ado, you know what? It's time to jump in it. Keep in mind, I've not sat in this car since October last year. And here we go.
So yeah, now the car's running. Obviously there's a big process involved in engine rebuild, so we're going to go for a quick test drive now, and let's just see how the car's driving. We're going to make sure it's boosting right and everything else is perfect on this car. So let's go do that.
Here we go. We've got Nams at the wheel. We've got Sean in the back, the heart surgeon himself, and we're going out for our first drive. I can't believe I'm sitting inside this car right now. I genuinely can't believe it.
How long has it been off-road since he blew his engine?
7 months?
7 months.
No,
wow.
Longer than that. 10 months. 10 months it's been off-road.
Yeah.
And I honestly wrote this car off in my mind. In my mind, that was it. It was I've forgotten about this car even existing. And then put it back. Yo. You know what? I've got to pinch myself that I own this. This is my car.
That's it, man. Your piece is back in your hands.
Okay, so I mean we're on first drive right now.
Yeah.
Do we have lights on the dash?
At the moment, just a seatbelt light, so let me get my belt on.
Whoops. That's how long it's been parked up. Look at that mold on that seat.
Other than that, I don't see nothing, but the engine is still cold, so let it warm up a little bit.
Yep.
And I'll start applying some boost. I'm not going to go too high into the rev range, obviously, because it's a new build. So we're going to take it slowly, go to about 3-4 revs max until you break it in.
Yeah.
Once you've done your first oil change, give it whatever you want.
This
sounds
is
proper nice, you know, the straight pipe.
Yeah, straight pipe.
Fully straight pipe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds good.
It is? Ah, Sean said it is. If Sean says it is, it is. I normally know nothing about my cars. Sean, tell me about the build. How have you found it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it?
Very much, man.
Yeah?
Yes.
You spent a lot of time on this car.
Oh, yes.
Because you've you've almost backward engineered this entire engine. You took it all apart, understood it,
Oh, yes.
figured it out.
It was in pieces, like literally, when I say it
From
was
A
in
to Z.
bolts, literally. You see that whole block at the front, all
Yeah,
built
you
up now.
guys have had this as stripped as you could possibly strip it.
Literally.
A to
We
Z.
changed the block, remember?
A to
Z.
Every single bolt had to come off your old engine onto the new one, so it was a full fresh build.
And you know what? The proof's in the pudding right now, because, I mean, let's just show the dash.
No engine management lights, No warning lights, nothing. Clean.
That's a Boost Performance build, bitches.
Engine sounds amazing.
Engine sounds 10. No one appreciates just how much time, effort, and energy goes into just R&D. Anything that Nams and Sean have touched on this vehicle, they have spent countless hours understanding what they're doing, researching all the other opinions and thoughts, and then obviously applying their own. These guys are engineers, right? There's a difference between a mechanic and an engineer.
Yeah, 100%.
In my opinion, a mechanic is a parts fitter. An engineer is someone who could do this.
So I'm going to drop the second gear and I'll go up to about 4.5. Oh, that's your map, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pots and banks. That's it. Is it boost?
Wow.
You haven't heard that for 7 months, have you?
My God. Yo, she's poised and ready. And also I'm getting a first-hand experience on Nams' driving here.
Not yet, that's with the half boost, isn't it?
Oh shit. You know what, I'll be honest with you, I'm quite glad that we're at half boost.
You need to come in my GTR.
Inshallah.
Feel that first.
There's one thing you know when you're in East London is the lads can drive. This is home for them. Wow, man. Right, first drive. Done.
Done, that's it.
Nams and Sean, thank you a million times.
No problem at all.
Big love, big love,
Respect,
big
respect,
love.
respect.
We've become, so Nams and I, we didn't know each other before this build.
Yeah, it was just I
just-
know of you on social media.
Yeah, we knew
YouTube
of each
as well.
other and stuff. I'm a sort of I'm a big deal on YouTube. But no, and through the process of this, normally people fall out. Okay, it's difficult building these builds. There's money, there's time, there's energy, and so on and so forth. I've become good friends with both Nams and Sean and the business through this process, and you know what? That tells a lot. It is what it is. Boost Performance for the win every time. Big thank you for the guys here. May Allah put barakah on all you do.
I've got to give it to you as well, how patient you've been, because every time you needed something, you took on the chin, man. Like, whether it's a block, crank, whatever parts you needed, the bill was big. You know what I mean? You took it on very well. And just like that, that is a wrap on F-Speed's M5 engine rebuild part 2. Finally happy to present you this video. You know how it gets with engine rebuilds. If you've done one before or know of it, you know that back-ordered items and more parts as you rebuild the engine just stack up and just delays things. But anyway, I've given the car back to F. He's very happy with the car. The engine is running perfectly fine, which is all that matters right now. This is Nams from Boost Performance. Give me a follow on my Instagram, like this video, drop me a comment and subscribe to my channel. Soon to come, I'm also going to show you tuning, which I haven't shown you yet from my videos. We do a lot of tuning here at Boost Performance. I'll go into more detail when I show you the video. Anyways, look out for more content next week or the week after next. Depends how busy I get. That's all for now. Peace out.